Good, whatever time of day it is you happen to be listening. This is the P&A Podcast Express, coming to you pre-recorded from the Palm Street studio, but live if you're on Facebook, YouTube, Shenanigans, and X right now.
Yes.
And TikTok. TikTok, which is the local veterinarians talking about ticks. TikTok.
You can catch that every Tuesday and Thursday on local radio.
7:30 a.m., 97.7 FM on your radio dial.
Yes. For 7 miles outside of Sandusky.
Listen to Tick Talk, where they talk about ticks. He's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. This is the P&A Podcast Express. With the Palm Street Studios, we've got Brian, our featured guest here. Another featured guest, the Grumpy Griller, in studio tonight. And it's the Wednesday edition. How's everybody doing?
So, Junior just left.
Just left.
I'm going to upgrade your death spike.
Yeah?
It's a level 5.
Is it?
Just the girth of it is amazing.
Oh, my.
Oh, wow.
The death spike.
If you walked up the ramp, you walked right underneath that.
Thanks, Phil.
And it's not just one. There's like 10 of them.
Well,
but there's one that's specifically magnificent.
When you plan defenses, if you are in defensive mode when it comes to battle, you don't just have one defense. It's called defenses. So there's multiple. I have offenses of icicles. It's what I do. It happened organically. But I think maybe for the design of the house, much like putting in a moat and or, a pit of despair, it just sort of happened from the gods of above.
Glenn McNary's watching over you.
Yeah. He's, well, Filbert.
They're his defenses.
Filbert, I have installed defenses. Let me know if they are to your liking. Right?
Yeah.
They are built by the storm gods.
It's that's pretty amazing.
Anyway, what do you want to talk about this episode? Last episode was kind of a barn burner because, rest in peace, iPhone 7.
Yes.
And its watery grave at the bottom of Anchor Bay. I feel like I should write a song, and I think I will. I'm going to write a song about it. I may borrow heavily from Gordon Lightfoot, but I shall write a song.
Yeah, I was going to ask, it would be Gordon Lightfoot. What's that group out of Boston? Boston? No, the other one. And not Aerosmith.
So there's 3 out of Boston?
Yeah.
REO Speedwagon?
Dropkick Murphys?
Yeah, those are the assholes.
Yeah, there definitely should be some shenanigans and some bagpipes in this whole endeavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I feel like my phone would have listened to bagpipe music.
Doesn't listen to anything now.
Wait, it does.
Oh, it does. Let me see.
Wait. This is the sound. This is the sound of my phone
It's the sound of silence.
on the bottom of the lake.
That's the sound the phone makes at the bottom of the lake.
You got it.
It's the sound of silence.
Right now there's
Can you hear me calling?
bunch of fish pics on your phone.
Yeah, right now a bunch of fish are like, take a little picture of my penis.
It's the fish guy jerked off on your phone.
There's a mating pair. What would be even more phenomenal if a pike thought it was a fucking
Or
Spoon.
walleye or something and just gobbled it up?
sturgeon.
Just a big old sturgeon.
Had its way with
Could you imagine somebody catches a big ass fish and they cut it open and they find an iPhone 7? That would make my fucking day.
It wouldn't have any battery left, and they wouldn't have a charger that would fit it.
So at least you don't got to worry about cooking the fish from the inside.
That is true. Somebody's going to recover that phone and be like, oh, man, I haven't had a charger like that in years.
Smithsonian will call them.
See, and I'm such a stickler. The new phone's been at 100% for the last 45 minutes, and I still have it plugged in because
Force the tether habit.
yeah, like you don't wait.
He's just stuck in the 90s. He's stuck to the wall.
You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this anymore.
What are you going to do with all this like tethered free time?
I don't know.
Maybe people.
Maybe get some hobbies. I mean,
Phil finally has a cordless wireless phone.
Yeah.
I finally have a true cordless wireless phone. First time in 4.5 years.
Huh. Your last phone had a lead acid battery in it.
So, which is why I felt I had a dream actually that the EPA came after me for polluting the lake because I dumped this thing in the bottom. Like you got to pay for that cleanup. I'm like, cleanup? What the fuck are you talking about? You could have poisoned upwards of 7 fish. Uh-oh.
And now all these fish are crying for a home button.
Right?
Oh, boy.
There's some funky ass mollusk that buries 7 feet under Anchor Bay there, and Phil just destroyed their entire habitat. And
DNR's going to be pounding on my door.
So, last episode, the song Take On Me was brought up. How many years ago was it released?
Take on me. Aha's
Take
version?
On Me. Yes.
I'm going to say 1983.
That's kind of where I was at.
Brian?
I want to say 84, but I wouldn't be surprised about 85 or 86.
85. I didn't think it was that old.
I thought it was 83. I wasn't going to guess 84 because 84 was the mecca for everything.
Well,
Yeah, 84 was E.T., 84 was Ghostbusters, 84 was Tigers winning the World Series.
Yes.
Challenger blew up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 85.
I don't know why I yawned when you said the Challenger blew up. It was a lot more exciting than that.
You don't like Christina McAuliffe then, I guess. Just
No, well,
He was America's favorite teacher.
yeah.
yeah, I had a teacher.
The only reason I can burn that in my memory is because that's the name of the middle school my daughter goes to in Bay City. And I'm like, was she from Bay City? Why would we call it Christina McAuliffe Middle School? They're like, no, not from Bay City. They just decided to name it after her because, of course, the high school is named Bay City John Glenn, and we all know who John Glenn is.
In all fairness, they probably did find a piece there.
Yeah, they made a fire. Some shrapnel.
So have you ever read the postscript in the reports about that when they finally released them years ago? They finally actually released it about a half a dozen years ago. And they figured that initially when it happened with the Challenger, they said, don't worry, they all died instantly. That's not the case. They said
No.
some of those astronauts could have been alive for a whole bunch of that free fall after that thing exploded.
Yeah.
I think that was the same case with that other space shuttle they lost too.
Columbia.
About 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So what was the actual chance? I don't know how many missions there were, but 2 pretty catastrophic failures tells me that not the safest way to fly.
You know,
It's like a value jet.
which reminds me, at this point, are those 2 still at the space station that we can't bring back? Have we brought them back yet? They're still there, aren't they?
So SpaceX actually brought them back.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah. And it was a whole big thing. They'd been up there so long they had to be wheelchaired out.
And they
of
also had shrank 3 inches and everything else. Yeah.
Pretty ridiculous, actually.
They only went for like a 3-week tour and it turned into
9 months.
yeah. Because they're like, fuck, we can't trust that aircraft to take us back. Could you imagine the dread if you're sitting there and well, they don't trust this one to take us back. What can we trust to take us back?
Well, and think about this for a minute. You're stuck in a spot that you really just can't I think I'll go outside for a run. No, you're in a place that really isn't a whole lot bigger than a
Probably
couple
my
of these
house.
studios. Well, probably it's smaller than your house.
Yeah.
It's not very many square feet. And granted, it should be more cubic feet because you're weightless.
How could you keep from losing your shit though? Imagine you're in a can floating in space that any little blip in the radar and you're dead and there's nowhere to go because everywhere to go is miles away where you could actually sustain life without any outside help.
And you're going 26,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess the thing about that is like, because those folks weren't actually scheduled to be up there that long, right?
No, like 3 weeks. They're
3
supposed-
weeks.
yeah.
Yeah, 3 weeks, and then it turns into 9 months. Like, yeah, I'll go for 3 weeks, and then we'll have Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Do you think they had any pets that died because they didn't like it? Fuck it, man. I put 4 long-term feed cubes in my aquarium. This will be fine when I get back. And you come back and just like it's just this gelatinous mess of decay because that's what happens.
There's just one big bala shark left because it ate everything else.
And an iPhone 7 on the bottom.
And an iPhone 7 on
And
the
an
bottom.
iPhone 7 resting on the bottom. And there's just random cat fur strewn about around
Yes.
the aquarium. And Fluffy's gone. And nobody knows what the hell's going on. And just imagine, like, how would you plan for that? You're like, well, all this shit in my fridge, it's good for at least a month or two. I'm going to leave it in there and not bother. Now,
Yeah.
9 months later, you're like, yeah, things are growing. The cure for cancer is spawned in your refrigerator.
Yes.
And
Just time for a new fridge.
yeah, just pull the junior and go look for a new fridge.
Yeah. Just burn the place down.
Oh, boy.
Well, could you imagine? Like, I'm only going to be gone for 3 weeks. Don't worry, everybody. Don't worry, everybody. 9 months later.
So, how horrible were the like 4 pair of underwear that they took?
And
You know-
Rotten.
I didn't pack for this trip. Could you imagine having to borrow some Russian's underwear? Because he's like, yeah, I got you. No worries.
Hello, you can use my burlap underwear.
No, that is once over chafing 3-4 weeks is very comfortable.
I have underwear made from old potato sack. You will be great.
You think the Russians are up there? They got their vodka still up there and
Oh, yeah.
fermenting old food scraps for booze.
You'd have to get drunk every night. Wouldn't you have to get drunk almost every night?
But if you think about it, you're better off up there than in Ukraine.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Well, yeah, maybe.
But what would you do up there? You would be so goddamn bored.
You'd just be helping with other people's freaking science experiments, which you probably don't have a hell of a lot of interest in anyway.
Right. Like, fuck, man, I've grown so many goddamn turnips since I've been here.
Yeah. Well, you would even think like, are there even windows in the space station?
I believe there is. There are windows.
I'm going to look
There's
outside
gotta
at the
be.
dark.
I'm gonna peer into the abyss.
I would think that is where the island in Sandusky got dreamed up as.
Probably.
They probably sent that back from the space station. That's probably the design from the space station. They're like, we shall
That's why
put
it's so small.
Pedo Island here.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably how they pass the time there. It's like, hey, how many times can we pass over Pedo Island in an hour?
They're probably that's probably who works for the Department of Transportation is the people at the space station because they're so bored. They're like, yeah, let's plan some traffic routes. Yay!
Well, they probably put it there, and every time they're like, oh, that's going to take forever. That's like 7 pedo passes.
What? Nobody's standing on that? I can't believe it.
You know, the great thing now is it's got like 2.5 feet of snow on it, so nobody's hitting it.
It's like Pedo Mound.
Yes. Only half of the street cones are sticking up out of it.
What a fucking racket.
So I just thought of something here about this. So suppose you're planning on going into space, and NASA's like, well, hey, in case something happens, you need to leave us a backup plan of, hey, notify these people, take this shit out of my fridge.
Clear this browser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens if they didn't take it seriously or not serious enough?
Well, the
Or
fridge
wait.
didn't get cleaned out.
Or way too serious. You come back, there's a Mexican family living in your house, you know.
they've started a restaurant and all of your like knickknacks and photos are up on the shelf for display. Like, it's authentic, man. This is how it was when we got here.
This is authentic astronaut food.
Worse than that, somebody's
Fried ice cream sandwiches.
They call it the Spaceman Cafe.
We got the sour cream out of his fridge. He doesn't have a date on it. It's going to go bad.
It was just cream when he left.
Jesus.
Worse than that, the worst case scenario would be you come back and somebody started a podcast in your house.
Shit, you figured it out, man.
Yeah.
6 months later, the memorial stones in your backyard. Another 6 months, it's now a national historical monument.
National gem.
Next thing you know, George or Bill Clinton and fucking Barack Obama are in your backyard. Like, well, we're here today.
They put memorial stones out for you, and then the tribute that people leave. You know how people leave like pennies on Minnie Quay's grave?
Right.
The tribute that people leave are like styrofoam containers of leftover food from restaurants that people also abandoned.
License plates from abandoned vehicles.
The little orange tags that are on them, they're just stuck all over the memorial to you.
Little kids that no one wants anymore just hanging out there.
That's the island of misfit toys. Man.
All of Canada.
Hey, that's going to be the 51st
All of
state.
Canada.
Cats everywhere.
Cans of Spam.
We need to. Oh, this is I just had an epiphany. We need to have a weekly cat drop roulette, and we just randomly pick an address out of the phone book or wherever.
Nathan R. Johnson.
Yes,
I'm famous.
and that's where people drop their cats.
All right.
I hate his cats.
That guy hates.
these cans.
Jesus Christ.
You think something like that, you can put it on Swap Shop?
Oh, the cat drop roulette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't do listeners like that.
Does anybody remember when they used to have bingo on WMIC?
Bingo.
I do.
Yeah, in the mornings when there was a day off of school and they announced it. Every day they did it, but when they'd announce a day off of school and then there'd be bingo that they would play, a couple rounds of bingo, and when somebody would hit bingo, they'd call into the station and they would win some really shitty prize, but
No.
they were famous for it.
I don't remember that.
It was great.
I got to get back into listening to Sean in the afternoons because I'm trying to push him to do more like giveaways with listeners. Like,
I listen.
that'd go a long ways. And, it doesn't even have to be a big, extravagant prize. I told him even a fucking $25 gift certificate for somewhere, people will go nuts over that.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
It's the Roto Taylor guy.
$25 free isn't bad.
No.
Uh-oh, here we go. What's up? Oh, hold on, Junior. What's up?
What's up?
What's going on, buddy?
Are we bringing that back?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's fucking awesome. No, I was just thinking on the way, we're still not selling Nessa's house yet. We're almost there, but is B. Brian Blair still there?
What
Yeah.
up, Junior?
Of course, he's better than you. He's in it for the long haul.
Oh, awesome.
He's in it for a long ball.
Quick question. B. Brian Blair, you were awesome tonight. But can we finish that story about the MSU thing that you asked Phil?
Yeah, I guess we want to talk about you blowing this bathroom up. Yeah, let's talk about this
Yeah.
more.
I want to know about the cutting off of the pants and shit with the knife.
Oh, there's plenty of shit. Let me tell you what.
All right, start from whatever you point you want. You have the floor. Junior wants to know. Let's hear about you destroying this bathroom and why you had to cut off your underwear with a knife.
Well, Jesus, I didn't really want to tell this on the air, but as long as you're
You
putting
don't have
that
to tell it all. You can keep parts close to the vest.
There can be theater of the mind.
Yes.
right. So in the attempt to try and lose weight, 'cause at that point I'd lost a considerable amount of weight and trying to keep it off, and I was taking these protein shakes. And so one morning before I went in, well, I took probably a little bit more protein than I should have, because it was supposed to be a shake, right? And it just was never thick enough until I just dumped a metric shit ton in there, not realizing the consequences of said actions.
That's how I had my first kid.
Too many protein shakes.
Well, there's probably protein shakes involved, but anyways, so I wound up driving on campus, and it was about a 20-minute drive, and halfway through it's like, boy, I'm not feeling good. This could be bad. This could be very, very bad. And so make it to the parking lot, and it was late enough in the morning that I didn't get a good parking spot. I had to park far away.
Of course.
And so yeah, this is about a 5 to 7 minute walk from the parking lot into the building. And in this particular building, there was a restroom on the first floor. And I'm walking through some greenhouses, and it's kind of warm in there. It's like, oh, this isn't doing me any favors at all. Starting to break a little bit of a sweat, and I can feel things just sort of shifting a little bit downward, and I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be bad.
Remember, if I laugh, don't take that lightly, man. I'm laughing with you. I don't mean any harm on it. Sorry, go ahead.
So I'm getting there, and it's like, I'm really starting to sweat, and it's not because it's 90 degrees in that greenhouse. And I'm like, oh shit. And then I start prairie dogging a little bit.
Tell me more.
And it's like, oh my God. And I knew this bathroom was where this bathroom was at. I got to make it there. And I'm just squishing my butt cheeks together, prairie dogging. This is good.
Walking like a penguin?
100
Pretty
yards
much.
the outhouse.
Yeah, just
by Willie
walking like a
Makins.
penguin, yes.
Walking like a penguin at a bit of a trot, really, just to try to get to safe harbor. And I get into the bathroom. Like, well, thank the Lord, and thank God no one's really around this morning. I get into that bathroom, and I just like, oh shit, I gotta sort of I'm gonna wind up pulling the sit and shit method, where you're timing everything just right to ass hits the seat and
Yep.
Unleash.
Been there.
unleash.
And you've got touch splashdown. Just
Yep. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm getting in there. I turn around. I start fumbling with my belt buckle. No, we're just a hair too late.
been there.
Premature bowel evacuation. Well, fuck. I'm sitting there, and it's just bad. The consistency was gelatinous, maybe not gelatinous, but it wasn't a firm consistency. And by God, there was a lot of it.
What you'd picture lava to be like if you could touch it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't ask me why I know that description.
And so I'm sitting there. I'm looking down. There's shit everywhere. This is
It was like a
bad.
crime scene.
No, really, it did. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, well, there's
At least you
evidence
weren't on the
here.
space station.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there. Well, what in the fuck do I do now? Because I've got a pair of boxer shorts, looking like a goddamn
Crime scene.
crime scene
Abominable
slash.
snowman from the waist down.
A boxable snowman.
Abominable.
Ugh.
Looks like the goddamn frosty machine at Wendy's exploded.
Oh, I don't think I'm gonna eat a Frosty again.
Oh boy.
Oh, I bet you will, you motherfucker.
Well, I'm like, well, what the fuck do I do now? How am I going to get out of this mess? Literally.
Literally, yes.
Well, shit.
Yep.
Well, I got my knife on me. Well, we're gonna have to perform a little bit of surgery here. So I cut my boxers off and wound up doing a little bit more cutting just to get some better wiping material than the government grade toilet paper they had there.
You didn't catch your ball, did you?
No, I didn't cut
Shut
my
the
balls.
fuck up, JJ. You're ruining it.
So I gotta ask though, if you're starting to surgically remove your boxers with a knife, where did you start? I would start on my dominant hand side. That's where I would start.
Yep. Yeah, that's where you want to
yeah.
start. So you get the sides off, so then you're
Right.
they're just flopped over there,
Yeah.
and you can just
You kind of fillet them. Just kind of yeah.
spread them right out.
Yep.
And it's like, well, shit. Okay, well, these are going into the trash can.
So, did you still have socks after this episode?
No. The socks were part of it.
Sacrificial socks.
The sacrificial socks, any scrap of textile that could be spared was. And then it was to the point where, okay, I get myself somewhat cleaned up. I get the bathroom somewhat of an order, but there's just too much to deal with.
Somebody would walk in and think you were finger painting with poop, probably.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Lord knows I didn't do that. I was mortified, embarrassed, and what the hell do I do now?
So you were on your way to class, though.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you make it to class?
No.
Oh.
I got right back in my truck, and I took the long way around. So I took the outdoor route instead of cutting through the greenhouses out through other academic and research buildings, and went home, took a shower, reattired, and just drove back in. Nothing even happened, and this is the first time I've admitted this to anyone.
And do you feel better about yourself? I mean, I didn't mean to bring this up.
Oh, I felt goddamn good once I actually took a shit.
Right. Dude, that's a great story. I'm glad I called in. I'm sorry that if I embarrassed you.
So if there's one point you could have done anything different on the way to this, do you have that in your mind?
I wouldn't have left the house,
Okay.
and and after that I pretty much quit taking the protein supplements.
That ruined the
That,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That'll do it every time.
Yeah.
Just make you shit like a demon. It's something.
Jesus, I don't think I had ever shat so much in my life.
I'm looking for a good clean out, so maybe I should get some of these protein supplements.
There you go.
Do you
Did
think
the college do a lineup, like, you know how when someone passes away and it's a murder scene?
the usual suspects?
Yep. Did they do an outline of and put yellow tape around? Do you know of?
Did they make you sit in a group of people and cut off your underwear?
And
to
did you
see
look
who
around
did
and it was
the
like Kevin Spacey and Benicio del Toro and
Well, thank God they didn't look for any suspects. I don't know if there's any cameras in that area, and they sure as hell didn't ask me to. There wasn't a chalk outline of where my ass cheeks were to see if there was a perfect match or not. So
Right.
or they managed to get the boxers, disinfect them, and they were going to check them like Cinderella's slippers to see if they fit by re-establishing their,
Oh, there sound like there's plenty of DNA on it.
yeah, I was about to say, thank God they didn't DNA test.
And thank God you're not a germaphobe, that you didn't have to put a bird's nest on the toilet seat, because you wouldn't have made it.
Oh no, the only goal at the point of getting even close to the porcelain was getting close enough to the porcelain to hit.
So that reminds me. That's something the next thing I want to talk about. You brought it up, the bird's nest or whatever.
The ass gasket.
When I was younger, I was always like the ass gasket. As I've gotten older, and I'd say it probably hit in about my mid-30s, I don't care anymore. I'm like, whatever is on that as long as I look down and there's nothing visibly if I see something,
Yeah, I'm probably not going anyway.
like if there's like somebody's peed on the seat, or if there's visible things that I think is feces, or pubic hairs. I'm like, if there's nothing down there, and I look and it's clean, I'm like, you know what? I'm good for landing. I'm touching down.
Well,
I don't
really,
care. What's really going to transfer, you know?
The amount of trust you have in a toilet seat depends a lot on where you're at.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Where I learned that it was actually Boeing, because some of the most disgusting people, these people shit in a trash can in the executive conference room. These people are animals.
So
yeah,
when I was coaching wrestling, me and the guy that I would coach wrestling with, we'd scout to find like a faculty bathroom in these schools.
Yeah.
And because you would think they would be locked, but they're never locked or anything. They're just a private bathroom with one toilet in it, and it's a room of its own. So we would always seek that out in schools. And the first year we went to Lincoln Park, we couldn't find it. And second year we went there, we go and we found it was actually underneath, like built in underneath a set of stairs. We're like, oh wow, we found the.
You had to know the secret knock and everything,
and it was like way out of the way,
right?
And so the third year we're there, one of our other local coaches, his team was there.
Yeah,
and he made mention that he's like, yeah, I don't know what I ate last night, but it's really got me buggered up. I'm gonna be in the bathroom all day, and we're like. And this is a really big tournament, like 32-man brackets, just a huge tournament. So the set of bathrooms right by the gym were they were beat up by 9 o'clock in the morning.
They were,
So Jeff, the guy that I coach with, is like, hey, we know where a faculty bathroom is. So we tell him about it. And then Jeff comes up to me later. He's like, well, yeah, he really messed up the good bathroom. Don't even bother going down there. Like, God damn it.
It was you.
It was not Jeff, but
yeah,
I will let the coach remain nameless.
So
but.
I always, at work, that's one of the things I find that the higher my satisfaction is with the facilities, the higher my satisfaction is with the job. Because we all know I've been around. I've done a lot of things, done a lot of, worked for a lot of companies. And that's important, man. When you want your time, you want your time. You don't want to have to worry about it. You don't want to have to whatever. So it's very important. It's very important. And if you've got a bad situation when it comes to like having to poop, like that's why everything was great about Boeing except for that. Like they were these bathrooms that were just the worst. These, ugh. Like I even think back to it, and I'm just like, the sounds, the smells, the art on the walls. It's just, it was bad. It was bad.
The one nice thing when I worked at the bank, the building that I was in, because we were on the first floor, and there were only I think there was 5 guys that worked there.
Beautiful.
And there were 4 stalls, I believe, and 2 urinals.
Yeah.
In that bathroom. So it was glory. You pretty much could claim a stall for the day.
That's nice. I would say my current job, as far as that goes, probably an 8.5 out of 10, maybe a 9, like pretty close to the best. One of the best was actually Hamatech and Peck. Literally had a bathroom right around the corner from my office, and it was upstairs from pretty much everybody else. And the immediate vicinity where everybody worked was primarily women, so it was very secluded.
Nice.
Very quiet, very secluded. Had a fan, very loud fan, a very loud fan. So you could go, and it was loud, so it's very, very like. You could go in there, just rip everything, and you probably couldn't hear it over that fan. So it was very nicely done. Good job, Amatech. The best bathrooms, though, when I worked at Emerson, were like near the front of the building. But if you looked and the general manager was in her office, she could see you like going to them. But our mailboxes were all right there because old school mailboxes, where they deliver paper media. So if you really had the shit and you made eye contact, you just checked your mail really quick, and then you went to the other bathroom where all all the people, the general population, did their business. So you'd be in there like just doing your best to try to cover it up. They're like, you don't have to hold it on my account. I mean, somebody be pissing the stall next to you, like, you can let it rip, man. Just don't hold it in because I'm over here pissing. And you're like,
thanks for that.
yeah, like, well, I'm glad I got permission. What kind of fetish is this? Jesus Christ.
Let it go.
Right.
He's sticking his phone under
They're
the
literally
wall.
asking. They're like, come on, man. I know you can do better. Just go. I know. I've seen what you eat. Holy shit. I cannot believe right now, all that hot sauce, you're sitting in there holding this in. You got to be turning purple. Let it rip, man. Let it go. Let it go. I'm like, can you just leave?
And then he's all like,
number 2 work for me.
Right.
and then he's all like, come on, man, I need this one.
Come on, man. Just give me this. Just give me this. I work at Emerson.
I need this one.
I work at Emerson. My life is terrible. Give me this. Give me this satisfaction. I just want to hear you tear ass really loudly.
Yeah. Like
I work at Emerson Sandusky. You rewrote the rule book when it comes to ethics. Come on.
There was one time I was at work, and this particular set of bathrooms was geared much more towards the fact that the area was designed for a heavily male population, and so there was a bathroom there, metric ton of stalls, metric ton of urinals, high capacity shit house.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, the piping coming out of that thing had to be just astronomically big.
Oh, yeah, it was. And the funny thing is that there was another private bathroom around the corner, which was the ultimate pooping palace. But I was in there taking a leak, and the guy was coming, urinal appropriately spaced over, and another guy was in the stall, and he just started busting ass, and the guy next to me, he just started howling, laughing like a second grade.
Isn't it great when you hear people cheering? Like, I remember I was in the long row of at Boeing, and I happened to have to go at the peak time, and literally there are 24 stalls, all of them full, and when somebody just bellered and let loose, everybody almost applaud. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack your story.
This guy's just. I'm trying to keep attention to matters at hand, and the guy's like, boy, sometimes you get the rain, you get the thunder too. He's just laughing like a second grader. And I'm just like, what in the fuck am I doing here?
You need my knife?
Right. You need to cut your boxers off? I got you. I'll show you how to flay your boxers.
We've all been there, brother.
Adam fucking crying.
No.
Pretty much.
Oh. All right, I gotta grab my appetite for dinner now. I just wanted to talk to Brian.
You're the one that wanted a poop story right before dinner.
No, I know. No, I wanted Brian to finish his story because he did awesome. That fucker made me laugh tonight, man. Sitting next to him, and I had to know when all I remember of yesterday's episode was him grabbing a pocket knife, and he didn't want to finish it, and I didn't want to be a dickhead not to finish this story because inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, it's way better to call him to make him finish it.
Absolutely.
Not looking him in the eyes right now. Yeah. Like you can't face him face to face and look him in the eyes and hear.
Well, I looked into his eyes and I could tell that he didn't want to finish it at the time.
I didn't want to see me touching myself while he told the story.
Well, Silent S was getting pissed off at me on the ride home. We're home now. And I was like, I need to call fucking Brian. He goes, what's on your mind? I go, well, I need to call fucking Brian. He's got to finish this fucking story. And, that's all I had to do is fucking call up. We should start a podcast.
We should start. People want to hear what we have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude, I had a blast tonight, guys, and I'm going to get going. Brian, you're awesome, man.
She must be pissed at you because I've already been poked.
Oh, you motherfucker. All right. You've been poked by Adam again. Yeah, she's walking down. She's getting mad. Don't worry, I'll fix it up, Adam.
Okay.
I know you're poked.
I don't think she's mad at me. I've been putting out just fine.
Oh my God. All right. It's cold as ball out there. And I'm going to let you guys go and be safe driving home. And can't wait to see you guys again. I'll see you tomorrow, Phil.
I'll poke you back in 2 seconds, Adam.
Okay.
Wow. All right. God bless, guys. Silent S and Junior. Out.
Love you, bud.
Oh boy.
Well, there we have it. Now we know.
That was a great. That I feel like Paul Harvey now. We got the rest of the story.
And now you know
The rest of the story.
the rest of the story. Junior had to have a poop story before dinner, though.
I apologize to all the listeners. This podcast should be listened to by no one.
Oh, it is.
It's not. You're here.
Yeah. Hell, everybody that listens to it is here right now. What are you talking about? Don't ever. It's 3 degrees outside right now.
Oh Lord.
Jesus.
I'm gonna start
But
my
it's
car
what?
now.
72 in the studio?
No, we're down to 69.
Nice.
That's where he said it.
72.
Phil melts if it goes above 70.
Jesus Christ, it's too fucking hot.
I think because everything is still cold in here from you letting it get to like 45 degrees.
Well, I'm not here, so I'm not here. I'm out of town. So I set the thermostat at 57 degrees. Is that wrong of me?
And then he turns it up to 58 to warm it up for us.
63. 63, you assholes.
But when everything else is like,
But when it's -3 outside, I mean,
yeah,
It's relevant. If you think it's cold, go step outside for 10 minutes.
yeah, I mean, he's right. You come in, you'll be sweating.
set my mic up out there.
No. So, yes. But yeah, I'm gone. I'm gone for, 4 days? There's no animals that live here. There's nothing that lives here.
Not after that.
I stepped my thermostat. Well,
What
it's
about Glenn?
He's in the crawl space. It's always like 57 degrees there.
I've seen what he wraps himself up in there in. It's a blanket of asbestos, fiberglass,
And Brian's old underwear.
thumbtacks, Brian's old underwear, and coffee grounds.
Pretty accurate.
That's
yeah.
what he wraps himself up in. And he claims that he is good for -33 degrees with this whole thing.
Well, he should be good for tonight then, because I think it's supposed to be wind chill tonight. Like
He says,
20.
Filbert, I am good for -33 degrees. And I'm like, okay, asbestos, Brian's old underwear, coffee grounds, fiberglass, thumbtacks. He's like, it's the thumbtacks that keep you warm.
If it's really cold, he gets hot damn.
Yep.
Well,
Instead of the Budweiser.
Yeah.
you can, if that's why some people, legend has it, leave a leaf of straw out for him so that he can lay it down, keep him off the frozen ground.
It's all he needs. It's all
Yeah.
he needs. Elevation is key.
I can raise the temperature by 0.5 degrees by being off the ground.
It's a blanket of air.
Yes.
Oh, Glenn McNary. He was really confused one time because instead of the attic space, he stayed in the closet over here, and he came out and he's like, I had fever dreams. It was
Yeah.
too hot. And I'm like, well, you were in the wrong room. He's like, oh. He'll have that.
Yeah, that door's not as cold as I thought it would be.
No, it's actually insulated pretty well
Oh,
in
well.
there.
So does he switch over to poison ivy for the summer, or
Sometimes he prefers poison oak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's itchier.
Sometimes sumac.
ah?
Yeah. He's, he walks around purposely trying to step on rusty nails because he wants tetanus too. So
So he's the most interesting man alive.
that's Glenn McNary. Yeah.
Yeah.
He says the storm gods will protect me from tetanus.
And then he puts that to the test constantly.
Best day he ever had is when he got rabies from a raccoon and then stepped on a nail and got tetanus later that day.
They canceled each other out.
Yeah, he said, "I'm healed."
The rabies actually healed him from the tetanus, but he got the rabies first.
Right.
Oh boy.
He is one of the world's most interesting men.
He is, for sure.
Maybe you should start drinking Dos Equis.
He interviewed for that position, and they said he was too interesting.
Yeah. He has to drink Triekis.
Yeah. That's why he drinks Budweiser.
Does Mom have son tattooed on her forearm?
Yes.
He's the most interesting man on the face of the earth.
She's got headphones on. She'll find that funny in a minute because she might be watching and it's on a delay.
All right. What else we want to discuss this episode? If nothing else, we should maybe think about getting out of here pretty soon.
We could probably do that. We're at that point. Yeah, we're at that. We're in that range.
We're in the range because we went a little long on the Tuesday episode.
We did. And we can't give people too much or they'll get used to it. And
Our accountants told us back in the day when we would do 3 episodes and they'd be an hour and 15 minutes or an hour, 10 minutes, hour and 20 minutes each. Like, it's giving the people too much. It's giving the people too much.
oh, I wanted to mention that to you.
Yeah.
I went to your accountant because I thought, well, Phil has this accountant and maybe I can go to him too. And so I went to your accountant. They're like, can you stop showing up here? Because I went 3 or 4 times. And then they're like, please tell Phil to stop calling us and asking us for unsolicited advice.
Really? They did you dirty, huh?
Yeah. Well,
I've been a loyal non-customer for 7 years.
exactly. That's what they mentioned. They're like, Phil doesn't have any money to pay us. So I'm like, well, I don't either. So we have that in common.
Well, I always tell them I'd have money if you found me money because that's what accountants are supposed to do. And I always said, you can keep 75% of whatever you find.
Yeah.
They still haven't been successful.
No, something about having to have a positive income flow.
Need the Doge in here.
Right.
Yeah.
Elon Musk on X changed his name to Harry Balls.
I saw that.
He what?
He changed his name to Harry Balls.
On X, he did?
So all these people,
BOLLZ.
so all
Harry
the people
Balls.
doing the news are referring to him as Harry Balls.
This is the biggest troll job of any.
Like literally his verified account, he changed it to Harry Balls.
Well, he owns X, so you can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
So this is the biggest troll job I've ever seen in my life. I guess I hadn't. So he's just saying "fuck you" to the media.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh,
Pretty much, yeah. You should have seen Rachel Maddow. She didn't know what to do with it.
well, to quote Harry Balls on X,
Ex-CEO Harry Balls.
says Rachel Maddow has a large ass.
And Harry Balls.
And Harry Balls. At Harry Balls.
Well, Junior would just have changes to Harry Ball.
Right? Harry Ball, no Z. 1L.
Or Harry Baller.
Harry Ball. I guess I didn't know this. How did this happen without my...
I don't know. It was, what was that? Probably like Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, it was just a couple days.
Oh, so it was when I was at
when
this
you were-
conference, yeah.
When you were in no man's land.
Oh, jeez.
So that go well? Did you get lots of big spoon in?
When you were a big executive.
I felt like I was somebody. It's kind of nice.
Well, I mean, you are obviously somebody. You're the big spoon.
I guess I'm the big spoon.
I got to make you a new sign.
Big spoon. We might have to talk about this the next episode, but I have a few things to say about that. And I had to protect the not so innocent,
Would that be you?
probably.
All right, we getting out of this one? Go ahead.
I have a theory.
A theory.
And I'll present this and then we'll get out of this episode. I don't think my boss actually exists. I think he's my Tyler Durden.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Find out next time on the podcast.
Because there's one thing about what we do at Jensen Bridge. We don't talk about what we do at Jensen Bridge.
What happens at Jensen stays at Jensen.
And I just feel like I ended up at this conference like fist fighting myself on the sidewalk at 3:00 in the morning with a couple hundred people watching.
So I'm just going to throw this out there. I was going to keep this to myself, but I'm going to throw this out there. Is it a coincidence that you went on this trip with your boss and then your phone was unrecoverably destroyed in an ice fishing accident where it ends up at the bottom of a lake?
Tune in next time to find out.
Next time.
What the hell happened at this thing?
That's what I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Did you stop at Pedo Island before you went to the Kalamazoo?
There was no pedophilia. I can admit that. However, I don't know if I'm big podcast anymore. I think I might have been enveloped into something. So I don't know.
Well, we will have to discuss that next time.
I think I'm no longer part of the solution. I'm part of the problem.
Oh, I think that's always been the case, my friend.
Well, there we go.
You'll have that on these.
We'll see. We'll see.
You'll have that on these smaller.
Things get very, very awkward when you're hanging out with drain commissioners.
Oh, I can imagine.
That's big government at its best.
I was just going to say, people think, oh, Trump being president, Elon Musk doing his stuff,
Big
RFK,
fence.
but they have not hung out with
These people
big drainage.
These people have their finger on the pulse, and they will finger anything with a pulse.
Yes.
Like, you need to watch out. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones that control the water. And those who control the water in life control everything.
Were there ones from California there?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
The ones that control the.
Let's just say I
the bidet.
was pulled into some back rooms that I never, ever wanted to be part of.
Back rooms that had back doors.
And I think I had to cut my boxers off and flay them with a knife at one point too. So, but it wasn't because I had shat them. It's because I needed to get out of there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just left them a piece of me
Pound of flesh.
or more. Needless to say, I'm down 7 pounds after that conference. So yeah,
Nice.
so I get some gave all. I gave some.
If it makes you feel better, you don't look it.
Well, it's came from some pretty valuable parts.
Well,
All right. Anyway, he's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. Jr., thanks for calling in just to hear a poop story before you had to eat. From one of our featured guests, Brian, which we appreciate the story. And, of course, another featured guest here tonight with us, the Grumpy Griller. And we appreciate you all, and we try our best. Hopefully you're entertained.
yeah,
Or if not, I don't
get
know.
what you pay for.
At least this noise.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, find better hobbies, I guess is all I have to say. Listen to our podcast. Give it to people. Tell them to listen to it. We still should grow. We should work on growing. I don't think we've grown any. I don't think we've grown as a podcast. I don't think we've grown as humans. And I don't think we've grown as broadcasters.
I weigh more.
Yeah, same. So we've expanded, but we have not grown, which is the key.
Yes.
After all of that, from the Palm Street studios on a very fucking cold Monday night, thank you for listening to this Wednesday edition of the P&A Podcast Express. And make good choices.